the Auditorium circle's to the left, and then further down is the Bell Park. The big bell in the middle of the park is a dead giveaway. And you'll see a lot of the painted ladies in there as well. So you'll see them in the Auditorium circle, and you'll see them over by the Bell Park. Then the rest of the houses, you know, like this Cedar one here, that's where a house burned down. So they replaced it with a new home. Most of the folks do the work themselves. There is one guy, his name's Ed. Ed's the guy that started this whole thing in the 80s. And he started with the fancy scroll work and the colors, and it just took off. So it's a nut house here in the summer. Actually, it's starting to become a nut house in the winter too. You can tell who the locals are. You can tell who the visitors are. The bobbleheads are. But yeah, I think you'll find it very interesting. Lots of very old trees, big tree landscape here, and yeah, we mostly get along. We're sitting on top of one another. We pretty much have to, and that's pretty much the end of what they call Grimsby Beach. So these older homes, you know, are part of what we would call Grimsby Beach, all the way over to 14th Avenue. So there's a lot of little streets. All the streets here ran north-south. And this is, for example, this street didn't exist. There used to be a house right here. There used to be a house right there. And that house burned down. And they couldn't get a fire truck to it. So they finally said, we've had enough. They took this one and they expropriated it. And then they opened this up so they can get vehicles in. We have our own plow in the winter because we have half streets. They can't get a normal plow in, so we have our own plow. So look all kind of quirky stuff, right? Lots of retirees, tons of musicians, tons of artists. When you walk down Temple Lane, you'll see right by the Bell Park, there's, you know, you see these little libraries, you know, you'll see one, and Lizette lives in that house, and she's an artist, and she's actually hand-done pictures of the house working. Lizette's done pictures of the houses that you can buy. Take away their little postcards, you know, like 2x3 postcards. She's really talented. You'll see when you see it. And I mean, you look at the house, you look at the picture. She's done a good job. So this is the Canadian Chautauqua, and the Chautauqua is a style of the home. There's in northern New York State, there's a whole Chautauqua community. And the houses are the same style. So it's the 1.5 story with the peaks. They typically have balconies on the front. A lot of these houses, the balconies have come off of them because people have built out, they can close the balconies so they get a little more real estate. The houses on average are about 900 square feet. They're not huge. It's a Methodist church campground here. So the QEW didn't exist, right? So you gotta remember that. So this whole area spread out. It was all farmland. You had most of these homes. This house here, for example, was built in 1850, right? It's one of the older homes. And the parking lot, there used to be a church. And you'll see the Bell Park is where they used to have religious services, and there was a fountain, and there was water in there. And then in the Auditorium circle, you'll see the houses are all literally around in a circle. It's a dead giveaway. Where you came off the highway over here is where the actual auditorium was. It was a 2,000-seat auditorium here in the early 1900s. This was a park. It was an amusement park. It had the second biggest midway after the CNE in Toronto. So they used to have ships come over here, steamers from Toronto, and they'd dock here. There's a dock here. And you'll see when you walk around the remnants of a dock over there. And they regularly came back and forth from Toronto. So this was a playground for rich people. So William Lyon Mackenzie was here, Alexander Graham Bell was here. So it was a think tank for people to come and exchange ideas. It was only in the summer. And then in the early 1900s, people decided, well, I'm going to start living here year round. So they're all clapboard. There's no insulation. And they started enclosing their porches so they'd have livable space. Most of them don't have basements. They just have crawl spaces because they weren't summer homes. So a lot of folks have lifted the homes up, put in basements, and really made them solid because it's all sand down here because you're at the lake. So the houses, you'll notice a couple of houses. Fourth house down on the left, you watch, the two houses are kissing. One's leaning right over. It's fairly common down here, and it's expensive with this. The big risk here is fire. We've lost 55 homes in this area to fire because you're sitting on top of one another, quite literally, right? So this summer we're running a Grimsby Beach bingo. And the bingo is, has anybody knocked on your door and asked to use the bathroom for the beach because there's no bathroom? Hey, you've seen your neighbor half naked or almost naked because we're all sitting on top of one another. And, has anybody come and peed in your bushes because they go down and drink at the beach and then they have to pee, so they pee in your bushes? It's absolutely hilarious. This is Grimsby Beach bingo. This is happening right now in summer. But it's a small little community. You're going to see a lot of creative stuff. And it's encouraged, actually. So what are you doing there? I'm painting piano. Oh, okay. We'll see what it looks like when it's done, right? That's what it boils down to. So, guess what I do in my spare time?
You're an artist.
I'm a musician. I just retired, so I sit and play the piano a lot. We're going to be running a Music on the Beach series here this summer, down there. And so the residents, we set up on a residence property so we don't get in trouble. And you play out to the water, right? And you'll have everything. We've had jazz, we've had a lot of independent. Blackie and the Rodeo Kings, have you ever heard of them? That's a Canadian, Tom Wilson. Junk House, so Tom played down here, Sarah Light, so we've had a good mixture of people that come down. It's the 100th anniversary of Grimsby this year. So what we're trying to do is garner some interest. Not that we really need any more interest down here, it's insane. But it's for the residents, we'll get together and we'll have live music. And one of the other ideas we're exploring is 4 homes. We'll have music set up on the property. And you'll sell 30 tickets, and the 30 people will listen to a half an hour, 40 minutes, get up, and they go to a different home. The musicians stay put. So you can move 120 people through, in an afternoon, that kind of stuff.
Wait, there's more. I'm inviting you on another adventure in the area. Just click the link and I'll see you there.